Good morning. In the last lecture, we have started with the temperature or the thermal stresses. These are the stresses induced by variation of the temperature. The stresses are induced even when there is a rise in temperature or fall in temperature. But there is some condition, in that condition only the temperature stresses are induced when there is a change in temperature. Every time when the temperature changes, here the temperature stresses won't induce. Here, what is the phenomenon that I explained you in the last lecture? Let's revise the things in 5 minutes. Okay. Let's consider, suppose this is one rod of cross-sectional area A. Let one end is fixed and other end is free. The modulus of elasticity for this material is E. And the change in temperature is, suppose, capital T. Remember, this is the change in temperature. T is the change in temperature. You can say that the T1 is the initial temperature and T2 is the final temperature. So T is the T2 minus T1. So it is a change in temperature. Okay. Now, every material has a tendency to expand or contract when there is a change in temperature. Okay. That length increase due to the change in temperature is depend on coefficient which is known as the thermal coefficient of linear expansion. Okay, here this is having the property of that material, and this is the reason here this metal expand or contract when there is a change in temperature. Here that's why there is a gap between two tracks of railway. Okay, to accommodate that expansion, here there is a gap. Here you must have studied it in the high school level. Okay, so let's consider this alpha is the coefficient of the thermal expansion. Here this is this coefficient of the thermal expansion gives you the amount of expansion or contraction per unit change in temperature per unit length. Okay, so because of the change in temperature, the material will, or this, there is a linear expansion of this material. Here, let the original length is L, and the change in length because of the change in temperature is delta L. Once again, let me tell you, before this we have studied where the material is subjected to some external applied axial force. Because of this axial force, the deformation is given by PL upon AE, or this can be written as stress into L upon E. This stress is the stress induced because of this axial force. This delta L is the deformation because of the axial force. This delta L is different, this delta L is different. This delta L change in length is because of the change in temperature. Okay, and this, let's say it has a free expansion or free deformation. Free deformation. So when the material is free to elongate, the free to deform, here then this given by as here if the T is the change in temperature and L is the original length, then this delta L is given by alpha TL. Okay, if L is in millimeter, delta L is in millimeter. If L is in meter, delta L will also be in meter. And T is the change in temperature. So it doesn't make any difference whether it is in the degree Kelvin or it is in the degree Celsius. Yes, because the changes remain same. Okay, so this is a free deformation delta L equal to alpha TL. Now, the next important thing, this if this material is free to elongate, here ये जो elongation है, if this elongation is not prevented, if the material is free to deform, yeah, then no temperature stresses are induced. Because when it is free to deform, no any resisting force is induced in the material. In the first lecture itself, I told you that the stress is nothing but an internal resisting force per unit cross-sectional area. So because of the change in temperature, when this material is free to elongate, no internal resisting forces are induced. And that's why we can say that when the material is free to elongate, no temperature stresses are induced. Here, for example, if this is the material, if this is the rod, if I place this rod in oven and if I heated it slowly, gradually, here, then in oven it is free to elongate. So no temperature stresses will induce in this. Okay, so where the temperature stresses are induced, so let's assume here this is the original length of this rod here, and at this end there is one free rigid support. Rigid support means it won't expand or contract. Okay, so because of this support, what will happen if the temperature rise, and if this support is there, rigid support is there, the material will try to elongate because of the change in temperature. But this rigid supports will not allow that deformation or elongation. Okay, clear? So whenever this deformation is restricted, either partially or completely, then only the temperature stresses are induced. Now, why temperature stresses are induced if the deformation is restricted? Here the reason is that when we restrict the deformation, either completely or partially, then what will happen? The material try to elongate, but this supports will not allow that deformation, and support exert the reactive force on the material to prevent that elongation. Here, material try to elongate, but that support won't allow that deformation, and it apply the opposite kind of reactive force to prevent that deformation. Means here the reactive force induced, actually this is the reactive force exerted by this rigid support on this part beam or on this rod to prevent its deformation. Okay, and since it is preventing this deformation here, or it is preventing the elongation here, this reactive force is the compressive in nature. I am denoting it by R. Okay, so remember, when there is a rising temperature, the material try to expand. Okay, and the reactive force prevent that expansion. Means the reactive force is compressive in nature to prevent that elongation. Okay, and because of this reactive force, here the stresses are induced in the material, and that stresses which are induced because of this reactive force are known as the temperature stresses. Yeah, why they are known as the temperature stresses? The reason is that this reactive force is induced because of the change in temperature. If there won't be any change in temperature, no reactive force will generate. Okay, so since this reactive force is generated because of the change in temperature, and the stresses are induced because of this reactive force, so ultimately we can say that these are the temperature stresses. Okay, hope that it is clear. Now, how to find out the temperature stresses? Here, there are two methods to find out the temperature stresses. Yeah, the first one is by calculating the temperature strain, and then calculate the temperature stress, and then with the help of that temperature stress, you can calculate the reactive force. That is one method. The second method is that we can calculate the reactive force, how much reactive force is required to prevent this much free deformation, and with the help of that, we can calculate the stress. Okay, so what is the temperature strain in this case? Temperature strain, they are going to denote it as a E. So remember this formula, this temperature strain is not only delta L upon L here, but in case of the temperature strain, it is given by the deformation prevented. It is deformation prevented upon original length. Okay, here now L is the length, and this rod support is here itself. Here, if this support would have not been there, the material is elongated by this delta L. Here, but because of this support, how much free deformation is prevented? So this entire delta L deformation is prevented. Here, so deformation prevented in this case, it is delta L upon original length is L, which is equal to alpha T L upon L. Yeah, but I suggest don't remember this here when solving the sum. Actually, you take out how much is the deformation prevented and then calculate the temperature strain. Okay, remember this formula. Deformation prevented upon original length here, and then we know that the modulus of elasticity equal to stress upon strain, and hence temperature stress is equal to temperature strain into modulus of elasticity. Here, in this way, you have to calculate the temperature stress. Here, I will suggest use this approach. They are very basic approach. No need to remember any formula. Just to calculate the temperature strain, you have to think logically how much deformation is prevented, how much free deformation is prevented. Clear? For example, suppose if this is the material, here is a gap of 0.1 millimeter, and then there is a rigid support. Okay. Now, if there is a rise in temperature of T degree, and because of this T degree temperature, here the free deformation means this term alpha TL. In this case, the alpha TL is this delta L, which is equal to alpha TL. For example, it is 0.4. Alpha TL, let it is 0.4. This is the free deformation. If this support would have not been there, this material would have been elongated by 0.4 meter. Yes, but out of that 4 meter, only 0.1 millimeter deformation is allowed. Here, so how much is prevented? We require here prevented deformation, allowed nahi. So how much deformation is prevented over here? Free deformation prevented. It is 0.3. So this 0.3 upon original length gives you the strain, and with the help of that strain, you can calculate the temperature stress. And once you get the temperature stress, I already told you that this temperature stress is nothing but a stress induced because of this reactive force. So for here we can write this temperature stress equal to this reactive force upon cross-sectional area, and from this one you can calculate this reactive force. This force stress and then reactive force. Here this is one method. Now what is the another method? The another method is that actually here what this reactive force is doing here, this reactive force is preventing this deformation. So let's think how I can calculate this reactive force or external applied axial force to compress this material by delta L amount. Okay, here for example, suppose if I ask you, this is one rod, okay, and this is L is the original length. Here if I want to decrease its or reduce its length by 0.1 millimeter, 0.1 millimeter का लेंथ चेंज करने के लिए कितना एक्सियल फोर्स लगेगा? Because of the axial force, how much is the deformation? That formula you know, delta L equal to PL upon E. But in other way, if I ask if to reduce this much or to decrease or to change this much length, delta L, how much force P is required? That also we can calculate. Yes. So actually here these are what it is doing. It is nothing but the external applied axial force which compress the material by this much amount, delta L. This is the deformation prevented. Okay, here, so this much deformation that R is preventing. Yeah, so here I can write down this delta L. In this case, it is alpha TL. Okay, so I am going to write down deformation prevented. That R is preventing the deformation. Deformation prevented is equal to this deformation is prevented. Let it is delta L because of this R. So I can write it as a R L upon AE. Same formula I am using. Here, so this R is the axial force applied to compress the material by this delta L. And this delta L is what? This is the deformation prevented because of this R. Okay, here now this delta L, how much deformation is prevented that we know. In this case, complete deformation is prevented, means deformation prevented is equal to alpha TL. Here again remember this thing, to calculate this deformation prevented, you can remember it is deformation prevented. Deformation prevented is equal to free deformation minus deformation allowed. Here in this way we can calculate the deformation prevented. Deformation prevented equal to free deformation minus deformation allowed. Now in this case, no any deformation is allowed. Zero deformation is allowed. In this case, deformation prevented equal to the free deformation. Here, so this you can calculate alpha TL, which is known to you, which is equal to R into original length upon cross-sectional area into modulus of elasticity. From this one, you will, if only one unknown is there, and this is R. So this much is the reactive force generated over And with help of that, I have calculated the stress. Here I have calculated the stress first, temperature stress, and then the axial force, and that is the reactive force. Here, hope that it is clear. Now, if you consider this case, now in this case, here this delta L deformation prevented. Now, how much is the deformation prevented in this case? This free deformation is 0.4. Out of that, 0.1 is allowed. Here, so how much is the prevented? So free deformation is 0.4 minus deformation allowed is 0.1. So deformation prevented is 0.3. So here you have to write down this 0.3 equal to RL upon AE. From this one, you can get the reactive force. Understood this? Okay. So this way you can calculate the temperature stress. Here when single material is there. After this next part in which we have to study when two different rigid materials are, when two materials are rigidly connected. When two different materials are rigidly connected and if they heated, how the temperature stresses are induced. Here you know how to calculate the stresses in these two different materials when they are rigidly connected and subjected to the axial force. This concept is known to you. But when such type of rigid materials are connected and when their temperature is changed, yeah, how to calculate the temperature stress in the two different materials, that we have to study after this. Here we'll solve few couple of sums on this simple question. Okay. Last point is that when there is a rod which is fixed at both the ends. Okay, you have to answer and write the answer in the chat box. I will check it later. Okay, suppose this is the material here whose temperature is rise. There is an increase in temperature. There is a rise in temperature. Here, now when there is a rise in temperature, you know that since the deformation is completely prevented and when axial force is induced here, so temperature stresses will also induce. Here, now tell me when there is a rise in temperature, okay, when there is an increase in temperature, what will be the nature of the temperature stress? Nature of temperature stress. Okay, now since it is I told you that this stress is nothing but a stress induced because of this reactive axial force. Here, and when there is an axial force, what are the nature of the stresses? It is either tensile or compressive. Here, so my question is very simple. When there is a rise in temperature, here, or when the elongation is prevented, because when there is a rise in temperature, the material try to elongate. Because of this support, that elongation is prevented. So when there is a rise in temperature or when the elongation is prevented, can you tell me what is the nature of the temperature stress? It is the stress induced because of this axial force only, and because of the axial force only two types of stresses are induced, either tensile or compressive. Tell me in this case when there is a rise in temperature, what is the nature of the temperature stress? Here, write in the chat box. Okay? Take 2 minutes and write it in the chat box. Tathansh tensile, Suraj tensile, Jemit tensile, Harshat tensile stress in material, tensile, 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 Yash tensile, Deepak Jha tensile, okay, Shubham Irkar tensile, Devang tensile. Okay, all of you are wrong. All of you are wrong. Okay, listen carefully. You have to think logically. Means you don't understand the concept of the temperature stress. Here, listen to me. Why temperature stresses are induced? Listen once again. When there is a rise in temperature, the material tries to elongate. This is the free elongation. Now, I will not use the word deformation because it is clearly rise in temperature. Because of the rise in temperature, it will definitely elongate. Definitely there is an increase in length. Okay. So, if this support would have not been there, it will elongate. There is the free elongation. But because of this support, this free elongation is restricted. It is prevented. Why it is prevented? Because when there is a rise in temperature, the material tries to elongate, but this support will not allow that deformation. okay, and it apply the reactive force. Now it is simple, tell me, when the material try to elongate and the support will not allow that elongation, तो ये support को कौन सा force apply करना पड़ेगा to prevent the elongation? Which type of force, means which type of reactive force has to apply the support to prevent this deformation? अगर मैंने इसमें elongation tensile force apply किया, because of this support अगर tensile force apply किया, तो ये prevent होगा क्या? ये एक्सियल फोर्स जो इंड्यूस होगा यहाँ से, इससे भी इलोंगेट होगा और राइजिंग टेम्परेचर से भी इलोंगेट होगा, वो प्रिवेंट होगा ही नहीं. ओके, सो व्हेन दिस सपोर्ट रिएक्शन prevent the elongation, to prevent the elongation, the nature of the reactive force is compressive. Okay, yeah, the nature of this reactive force should be compressive to prevent the elongation. Here, and I already told you that the stresses induced in the material are actually because of this reactive force. Since the reactive force is compressive in nature, here the induced stresses are also compressive in nature. So when there is a rise in temperature, here the stress, nature of the temperature stresses are compressive, not tensile. Have you understood this? Because it is actually the stresses induced because of this reactive force. And when it prevents the elongation, the nature of the reactive force must be compressive. And that's why the stresses are also compressive. On the other hand, let's consider suppose this is one rod which is fixed at both the ends. Means no deformation is allowed. It is fixed at both the ends. With the help of some clamp, it is fixed. Okay, with the help of some clamping. Now, the temperature of this rod is decreased. There is a fall in temperature. There is a fall in temperature. Just answer, when there is a fall in temperature, here, let's imagine it is free to elongate or it is free to deform, I can say. It is free to deform when there is a fall in temperature. What will happen this rod, the length of the rod, whether it will increase or decrease? Whether there will be the elongation or contraction when there is a fall in temperature? Answer. Are Sri Krishna Warrior, till you are telling tensile only. Now I am asking the next question. Contraction. Okay. So when there is a fall in temperature here and if it is free to deform, here it will get contract. Okay, this is a free contraction which we can calculate by using the same formula, delta L equal to alpha TL. Okay, that here T is the fall in temperature. Again, it is a change in temperature, but it is a fall in temperature, and that's why since it is a fall in temperature, it will get contract. But at the end, it is rigidly supported. There are some clamping, so it is rigidly fixed. Means because of this clamping, it is neither free to elongate nor free to contract. Here means in this case, this contraction is prevented. When there is a fall in temperature, this contraction is prevented. And if to prevent this contraction, here this support have to apply the reactive force. And what is the nature of this reactive force in this case when there is a fall in temperature? Just imagine कि ये temperature fall हो रहा है तो ये contract होगा, तो ये support will not allow that contraction, तो ये contraction prevent करने के लिए support को उसको tensile force generate करना पड़ेगा, isn't it? Or because of this rise fall in temperature, ये material इतना contract होगा और इतना ही material उसको pull करने के लिए the reactive force का nature tensile रहेगा. Have understood this? Yeah, and because of this reactive force, जो stress generate होगा, that is nothing but a temperature stress. Yeah, and this in this case, when there is a fall in temperature, the reactive force generated. Once again, when there is a fall in temperature, yeah, there is a contraction, and to prevent that contraction, the nature of the the nature of the reactive force should be tensile, and because of this tensile reactive force, जो भी stress generate होगा, that will be tensile in nature. So ultimate conclusion is that when there is a fall in temperature or decrease in temperature, what is the nature of the temperature stress? नेचर ऑफ टेम्परेचर स्ट्रेस, इसमें कौन सा नेचर होगा? तो स्ट्रेस का नेचर होगा इसमें टेंसाइल, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रिएक्टिव फोर्स। यार तो इज दैट क्लियर कि टेंसाइल रिएक्टिव फोर्स कब जनरेट होगा और कंप्रेसिव रिएक्टिव फोर्स कब जनरेट होगा? ये देखो, नो नीड टू मग अप ऑल दिस थिंग्स, जस्ट simple logical thing is there. Okay, yeah. So I hope that, and we are not going to use any sign convention for this tensile and compressive temperature stresses. If plus आया तो tensile and minus आया तो compressive. Here it is simple logical things. Here, so nowhere we are going to use the sign for this such type of question. Here by thinking logically we can decide whether it is compressive or tensile. Here, so अगर elongation prevent हुआ तो नेचर ऑफ द स्ट्रेस इज कंप्रेसिव, और अगर कॉन्ट्रैक्शन प्रिवेंट हुआ तो कॉन्ट्रैक्शन प्रिवेंट करने के लिए टेंसाइल फोर्स लगेगा, एंड टेंसाइल फोर्स की वजह से जो स्ट्रेस होगा दैट आर द टेंसाइल इन नेचर. वेरी सिंपल. अंडरस्टूड? एनी डाउट? इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट यू अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ एंड आस्क मी द डाउट. So I hope that all of you are comfortable with this. Okay. Now, on this same simple logic, we will solve few questions. Okay. This question is sum number 25 from our question bank. It is given that a rod of steel 16.5 meter in length is at a temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now you have to read the question carefully. Particularly, जो temperature दिया है, you have to identify it is which temperature. Here, so sometimes initial temperature and final temperatures are given. Here, so for if the initial and final are given, then we can calculate the change in temperature as T2 minus T1. Okay. Now, sometimes it is given that the initial temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. Listen carefully. The initial temperature is 30 degrees Celsius and rod is heated up to 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, initial temperature is 30 degrees Celsius or room temperature is 30 degrees Celsius and rod is heated up to 50 degrees Celsius. Yeah, means in this case, what is this 50 degree? Is it T2 or it is T? Is it T2 or T? Answer? Come on, fast.
Sir, it is T.
It is T. Tathansh T, Hardik Hora T. Somebody said T2. Here, so you have to read the question carefully. Initial temperature is 30 degrees Celsius and it is heated up to 50 degrees Celsius. Here, means this 50 degrees Celsius is T2 here. Up to 50. Initial is 30 and it is heated up to 50. Up to 50 means it is T2, and hence in this case the change in temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. Okay. Second, yeah. Now it is given that the room temperature or initial temperature is 30 degrees Celsius and the rod is heated to 50 degrees Celsius. Here, so it is up to, and here it is given as a through. What is the difference? Now, in second case, the initial temperature is 30 degrees Celsius and it is heated through 50 degrees Celsius. Here, means in this case, this 50 degrees Celsius is the change in temperature. This was the initial, and from that initial, it is heated through 50 degrees. So, in this case, this 15 is the change in temperature. It is not the final temperature. Here, when it is heated up to 50 degrees Celsius, means it is the final temperature. Understood? Here, so you have to read the question carefully. In this sum number 25, let's write down the given data. What is given? A rod of steel 16.5 meter in length. Here the length of the rod is 16.5 meter. If you convert it into millimeter, it is 16.5 into 10 raised to 3 millimeter. Is at temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. Clear? So initially T1 is 27 degrees Celsius. Find A, free expansion and corresponding stress when it is subjected to a rise in temperature and raised to 110 degrees Celsius. Okay, you have to find out the free expansion and corresponding stress. Yeah, so nothing is given here. So if nothing is given, let's assume that the entire free deformation is prevented if nothing is mentioned. So this is the first part. The free expansion and the corresponding stress when it is subjected to the rise in temperature and raised to 110 degrees Celsius. B part is stress if no expansion is allowed. Sorry, that is the B part. Here, so okay. Then, in first case, you have to find out the free deformation and corresponding stress. In second case, then what is the temperature stress? Then, listen, temperature stress if no expansion is allowed. Here, if no expansion or deformation is allowed, here means complete free deformation is prevented. कुछ भी deformation allowed नहीं है. Here, so you have to calculate the delta L. Here, when here no deformation allowed. When no deformation allowed. And C, stress when the expansion of 7 millimeter is allowed. You have to calculate the delta L, then deformation allowed. Delta L allowed. कितना अलाउ किया ये सेकेंड केस में? इट इज 7 millimeter. Okay. Yeah. So length is given, T1 is given. You have to calculate the stresses in these three different cases. Take alpha equal to, alpha is the coefficient of the thermal expansion. It is 12 into 10 raised to -6 per degree Celsius. Okay. Here means this is a change in length per unit, change in temperature and per unit length. And E equal to 220 gigapascal. Okay, I'll keep it in gigapascal only. If required, I will change it. Okay. Now, have understood this question. Length is given, temperature is given, initial temperature is given, and the next one is find the free expansion and corresponding stress when it is heated or when it is subjected to a rise in temperature and raised to 110. Yeah, so it is raised to 110 degrees Celsius. So it is raised up to 110. Okay, here. So it means that this 110 is the T2 here. This is the final temperature up to which it is heated. Here, अगर थ्रू रहता था, तो this would have been a change in temperature. Here, so T2 is 110 degrees Celsius. Initial temperature, and this is the final temperature. Here, so how much is the change in temperature? So initially is 27. So it is 73 plus 10, 83. Am I right? Change in temperature is 83 degrees Celsius. Clear? So we'll solve this question. So first, we have to calculate the free deformation or free elongation. Since there is a rise in temperature, so it will elongate only. Free elongation. Free elongation delta L equal to alpha TL. Substitute the value. Alpha is 12 into 10 raised to -6. Change in temperature is 83 and length is 16.5 meter. That is 16.5 into 10 raised to 3 millimeter. Simplify this. Since this L is in millimeter, the answer will also be in millimeter. This is a change in temperature. So, sorry, free elongation. This is a free elongation. Tell me how much is the answer?
16.434.
16.43 millimeter. Okay, means if this rod whose length is 16.5 meter, I am drawing the figure here. If one end is free and suppose other end, one end is fixed and other end is free, yes, so over the length of 16.5 meter, when it is heated through 83 degrees Celsius, इसका free elongation कितना होगा? Its free elongation is 16.43 millimeter. This is the free elongation. If no deformation is prevented. Okay, here this is the free elongation. And in first case now, when this free elongation is allowed, how much is the temperature stress? कितना होगा? If this free elongation is allowed, if it is not restricted, how much is the temperature stress in first case? Answer my question. अरे आंसर करो.
(219.12)
What is that?
Newton per millimeter square.
You mean to stress?
Yes.
Who is answering?
Vinay.
Listen. In first case, listen once again. In first case, it is asked to calculate the free elongation, and this entire elongation is allowed. None of the elongation is prevented in this case. कुछ भी prevent नहीं किया है. All because of the change in temperature, जो भी change in length हो रहा है, वो change in length allowed किया है. तो temperature stress कितना होगा?
Sir, 0.
0 होगा. Remember once again, the temperature stress is induced only when this free deformation, maybe elongation or contraction, if this free deformation is restricted, either because of some support or by applying some external force, तो ही temperature stress induce होता है. Okay, clear? So just formula by heart करके नहीं आएगा. Here, so when the free elongation is allowed, here the temperature stress is 0. When it is restricted, the temperature stress is induced. Okay. So in first case, it is 0. In second case, what is given? You have to calculate that in same situation. You have to calculate the stress when no deformation is allowed. Because of the change in temperature, उसमें 16.43 deformation हो सकता है. Yeah, this much is the free deformation. Yeah, लेकिन in second case, because of some support, उसका no any deformation is allowed because of the change in temperature. Since no any deformation is allowed, means complete free deformation is prevented. So in this case, now we have to calculate the temperature stress. Okay, here when free complete deformation is prevented, how much is the temperature stress that we have to calculate? This is the second part. Yeah, so in second part, I already told you in theory, either you can directly calculate the temperature stress, or first you can calculate to prevent this 16.43 millimeter deformation, how much axial force is needed. That axial force you can calculate, and with help of that axial force you can calculate the temperature stress. Okay, by both the way we will calculate. So first method will calculate directly the temperature stress, and I told you that to calculate the temperature stress, first calculate the temperature strain, and then with the help of temperature strain calculate the temperature stress. Okay, so in this case we will calculate first the temperature strain. Temperature strain E equal to, what is the formula? It is the deformation prevented. Deformation prevented upon original length. Now in this case, when complete deformation is restricted, अगर ये सपोर्ट नहीं रहता था तो इट वुड हैव बीन इलोंगेट बाय 16.43 मिलीमीटर. बिकॉज ऑफ दिस सपोर्ट ये पूरा डिफॉर्मेशन रेस्ट्रिक्ट किया है. मींस हाउ मच इज द डिफॉर्मेशन प्रिवेंटेड? स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड. क्लियर? सो इट इज 16.43. इतना डिफॉर्मेशन प्रिवेंट किया बिकॉज ऑफ दिस सपोर्ट. सपोर्ट नहीं रहता था तो बिकॉज ऑफ द चेंज इन टेम्परेचर ये इतना डिफॉर्म हो सकता था. बट इन सेकंड केस here no deformation is allowed. Here means deformation allowed is 0, and since the deformation allowed is 0, the deformation prevented equal to the free deformation 16.43 upon original length 16.5 into 10 raised to 3 millimeter. From this one you can get the strain, and then temperature stress is equal to this temperature strain into modulus of elasticity. Modulus of elasticity is given, it is GPa. Here, if you keep it in GPa as it is, the stress will also be in GPa. If you convert it into Newton per millimeter square, you will get the stress in Newton per millimeter square. Here, so calculate this E, substitute it here, and E is 220 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per millimeter square. Here 220 GPa means 220 into 10 raised to 3 MPa. To convert from GPa to MPa, here this difference is 3. Okay, since the unit is, we are decreasing the unit, we are reducing the unit, the number should increase. So E equal to 220 into 10 raised to 3 megapascal. Calculate and tell me the answer in Newton per millimeter square. Adarsh Pal. Who is Adarsh Pal? Dhotri Mrunal. Unmute yourself and tell me the answer. Not present.
$219.06 Newton per millimeter square.
Just 1 minute. Alpha, final answer. Alpha, how much?
219.06
Newton per millimeter square.
millimeter square. Yes, sir.
Okay. Dhotri Mrunal, absent. Okay, so this is the second case, and in second case, when completely restrict this deformation, how much axial force or how much reactive force, if it is asked, then that reactive force we can calculate R equal to the stress upon cross-sectional area. But in this case, cross-sectional area is not given, so we cannot calculate that. Okay, in next term, here we will calculate. Now, in third case, let's calculate the third case. Here, I'll ask जिसको क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा उसने ही आंसर देने का. अगर आंसर नहीं आया अनम्यूट करके, यार इवन इफ यू आई डोंट फाइंड योर प्रेजेंस आई विल मार्क यू एब्सेंट. रॉन्ग आया आंसर तो चलेगा, बट आई वांट योर प्रेजेंस टू बी हियर. थर्ड केस, सेम सिचुएशन. Because of this rise in temperature, the free deformation is 16.43. But in third case, you have to calculate the stress. Then the 7 millimeter deformation is allowed. Out of that 16.43, the 7 millimeter is allowed. Here, once again, I am drawing the figure. Okay, this is 16.5 millimeter. Sorry, meter. And it is, if it is free to elongate, ये कितना elongate हो रहा है? It is 16.43 elongate होता है. But out of that 16.43, here only 7 millimeter deformation is allowed. There may be some gap over here. So this 7 millimeter gap is there. Because of this 7 millimeter deformation is allowed. Okay. Here, so in that case, when 7 millimeter is allowed out of 16.43, what will be the temperature stress? Okay. Now, so here again we'll calculate the temperature strain, which is the deformation prevented upon original length, same formula. Now, in this case, how much is the deformation prevented? अगर डायरेक्टली यहाँ पे लॉजिकली नहीं आता है तो ये फार्मूला यूज करो, डिफॉर्मेशन प्रिवेंटेड इक्वल टू फ्री डिफॉर्मेशन माइनस डिफॉर्मेशन अलाउड. Here free deformation is 16.43 and out of that how much deformation is allowed? In third case the deformation allowed is 7 millimeter. Here so deformation prevented is equal to 16.43 minus 7 upon original length 16.5 into 10 raised to 3. From this one you can calculate the strain and by using the same formula calculate the temperature stress. Calculate. Anil Paul. Anil Paul from civil. Whether he is present. Patil Manthan. Patil Manthan. Patil Harshita. Sakshi. Civil student. Sachin Pal. Adarsh Pal. Aniket. Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Who is this? Who said
Aniket.
yes, sir? Aniket.
Aniket,
Okay.
sir.
Aniket Manware. Raj Naik.
Yes, sir.
Raj Naik. Mishra Yogesh. लॉगिन करके चले जाते हैं क्या तुम लोग?
हेलो सर.
शुभम इरकर. हाँ बोल.
हेलो
हाँ बोल शुभम.
सर आज नहीं.
राज नाइक. ओके.
हाँ सर 125.73 into 10 raised to 6.
स्ट्रेस का वैल्यू है. इज इट द वैल्यू ऑफ स्ट्रेस?
Yes sir.
125.73
into 10 raised to 6
यूनिट.
Newton per millimeter square.
लिसन, अगर ऐसा आंसर एग्जाम में लिखे जाएंगे ना, इस आई एम द एग्जामिनर में पूरा 0 मार्क्स देने वाला हूँ. और दिस आंसर यू विल गेट 0 मार्क्स. Okay, the reason is that this figure may be correct. This figure may be correct. Yeah, but this conversion is wrong. Okay, here, so how much is the temperature strain here? Tell me.
5.715 into 10 raised to minus 4.
5.715 into 10 raised to
Minus 4.
minus 4. Okay, here and now use this strain here and use the value of E. I already told you that अगर आपने E GPa लिया तो आपका स्ट्रेस का वैल्यू GPa में आएगा. अगर आपने उसको न्यूटन पर मिलीमीटर स्क्वायर में कन्वर्ट किया, दैट इज मेगापास्कल में कन्वर्ट किया, तो आपका मेगापास्कल में आएगा. तो दिस 5.715 into E. E is 220 into 10 raised to 3. How it will be 10 raised to 6? Who said that earlier answer? 10 raised to 6 का आंसर किसने बोला था?
राज नाइक.
राज नाइक.
सॉरी.
क्या किया था तूने?
10 raised to 3 कैरी 10 raised to 3 डिनोमिनेटर में था ना, तो माइनस नहीं लिया. 10 raised to 4 ने लिया था.
अच्छा, ये इधर मिस्टेक किया.
हाँ.
ओके. अगर ये स्ट्रेन है, अगर ये मिलीमीटर में है तो ये भी मिलीमीटर में ही लगेगा. यार इन वेरी फर्स्ट लेक्चर मैंने बोला था आपको कि फॉर्म में मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट, जितने स्टूडेंट फेल होते हैं उसमें से 20% स्टूडेंट्स फेल जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ स्टेप ऑफ कन्वर्जन. किधर क्या कन्वर्जन करने का, किधर मीटर का मिलीमीटर, मिलीमीटर का मीटर, गीगापास्कल का मेगापास्कल करने का, वो समझ में ही नहीं आता है. ओके, तो अगर इधर मिलीमीटर है न्यूमरेटर में तो डिनोमिनेटर में भी ही मिलीमीटर ही लगेगा टू कैलकुलेट द स्ट्रेन. यार देन नेक्स्ट थिंग हियर, स्ट्रेन इज अ यूनिटलेस क्वांटिटी. Okay, to calculate the stress, they are multiplying that strain to the modulus of elasticity. अगर modulus of elasticity अगर मेगापास्कल में है तो आपका strain मेगापास्कल में आएगा. अगर modulus of elasticity गीगापास्कल में रखा आपने, चलेगा, no problem. लेकिन अकॉर्डिंगली यू हैव टू राइट द यूनिट। अगर इधर नहीं कन्वर्ट किया तो भी चलेगा। अगर ये आपने एज इट इज गीगा पास्कल में रखा 220 यार, तो आपका जो आंसर आएगा वो गीगा पास्कल में आएगा। ओके, गीगा पास्कल में किलो न्यूटन पर मिलीमीटर स्क्वायर। ओके, मेगा पास्कल इज न्यूटन पर मिलीमीटर स्क्वायर और गीगा पास्कल इज 10⁹ न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर। यस, यू हैव टू राइट अकॉर्डिंगली। अंडरस्टूड? तो ये आपको समझ में आना चाहिए कि कौन सा कन्वर्जन कहां पे करने का। ओके, अफान खान, आर यू प्रेजेंट?
Yes, sir.
ओके, any doubt in this question? Have you understood this?
Sir, what will be unit of small e?
E is a strain. It is a unitless quantity. It is the ratio of the weight to the length. It is the change in length upon original length.
Okay.
Here, whenever there is a strain, any type of strain, it has no unit. It is unitless quantity. Okay. One exam question was there for civil. Okay. Let me check where it is. Very nice example was that. The example was only for 4 marks in first question. I'll check it tomorrow. Right now I don't have that civil question paper. I'll check it tomorrow. I'll tell you tomorrow what is that question. Okay. Now for back to the next question. Mostly last question. Today's last question. And you have to solve and send me the answer. I'll give you the question. I'll explain you. You solve that questions yourself and upload the on Google Classroom. Upload the answers PDF on Google Classroom. I'll just explain you the concept of this question. Okay. This is the question for 10 marks. Exam question, university exam question for 10 marks. What is given? A 4-meter long steel bar. The length is 4 meter, which is equal to 4 into 10⁵ millimeter. Cross-sectional area. It is a square rod. It is a square rod of size 40 millimeter. This cross-sectional area is 40 square. Is heated through 75 degrees Celsius. Through means it is change in temperature. 75 degrees Celsius. With its clamp, with its end clamp before heating. तो ये जो square rod है, उसका दोनों end clamp किया है before heating. Okay, इसका cross sectional area given है, change in temperature is given, length is also given. Calculate the thrust exerted by the bar on the clamp. You have to calculate the thrust exerted by the clamp on the bar when it is heated by through 75 degrees Celsius. Here, a very simple question. When it is heated, it will try to expand. Yeah, but that clamp will not allow that expansion, so it applies the reactive force. So this reactive force are compressive in nature. Here, one thing I forgot in the last question, I forgot what is the nature of these stresses. So here also there is a rise in temperature, and that free elongation is prevented, and hence the nature of this stress is compressive. Here also compressive. When the elongation is prevented, the nature of the stress is compressive. Here, so here also, since it is rising temperature, so it will elongate it. It will free to elongate, but because of that clamp, the elongation is prevented, and hence the stresses, the nature of the stresses will be compressive here. Okay, so this is the nothing but a thrust exerted by the clamp on this rod. In this question, it is asked to calculate the thrust exerted by the bar on the clamp. Again, one second, important thing. Question में ये पूछा है कि find out the thrust exerted by the rod on the clamp. Now here this rod and the clamp are in contact with each other, and according to the Newton's third law, the reactive force or the thrust exerted by the rod on the clamp is equal to the reactive force exerted by the clamp on the rod. They are equal and opposite, since ultimately you have to calculate the thrust exerted by the clamp on the rod. This reactive force you have to calculate, and it is compressive in nature. Calculate the thrust exerted by the bar on the clamp. One, if the clamps do not yield, first, clamps do not yield. Yield means they are not expand. Okay, means they are rigid. They will not expand because of the rise in temperature. Here now, clamps do not yield. It means that here the complete elongation is prevented. ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि they are clamped at its end, but because of the rising temperature, here ये जो clamp है वो भी deform होगा, वो भी अपनी जगह से हिल जाएगा, मतलब वो जितना हिलेगा उतना ही expansion इसका allowed हो जाएगा. Yeah, but in this first case it is given that the deformation is not allowed. Clamps do not yield. It means that the complete deformation prevented. Complete deformation prevented when the clamps do not yield. In this case you have to calculate the R. अभी ये क्वेश्चन आप दो टाइप से सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. पहले टेम्परेचर स्ट्रेस कैलकुलेट करो, एंड देन दिस टेम्परेचर स्ट्रेस इक्वल टू R अपॉन A से आप R कैलकुलेट करो, या तो डायरेक्टली ये डेल्टा L कैलकुलेट करो, जितना डिफॉर्मेशन प्रिवेंट किया है उतना, here which is equal to RL अपॉन AE कैलकुलेट करो, आपको डायरेक्टली R मिल जाएगा. ओके, यार ये कंसेप्ट मैंने पहले ही बोल दिया आपको. सेकेंड पार्ट, इफ द क्लैम्प यील्ड बाय 0.6 मिलीमीटर. सेकेंड सेम सिचुएशन है, लेकिन सेकेंड पार्ट में क्या दिया है, ये जो क्लैम्प है ना, ये क्लैम्प यील्ड होता है, मींस बिकॉज ऑफ द राइजिंग टेम्परेचर ये क्लैम्प अपना जगह छोड़ देगा या पीछे चला जाएगा, या बिकॉज ऑफ द चेंज इन टेम्परेचर इसमें इससे जितना फोर्स आएगा वो फोर्स की वजह से ये क्लैम्प डिफॉर्म हो जाएगा. यार तो क्या दिया है, इफ द क्लैम्प यील्ड बाय 0.6 मिलीमीटर. यार ये क्लैम्प है और ये क्लैम्प यील्ड हो जाता है 0.6 मिलीमीटर, मींस इट गेट डिफॉर्म 0.6, एंड सिंस द क्लैम्प डिफॉर्म 0.6 मींस दैट 0.6 इज एक्सपेंशन अलाउड होगा. उतना एक्सपेंशन जितना ये डिफॉर्म होगा, जितना ये यील्ड होगा, उतना इसका इलोंगेशन अलाउड होगा, बाकी का प्रिवेंट हो जाएगा. यार मींस इन सेकंड केस द डिफॉर्मेशन अलाउड इज गिवन. जो क्लैम्प का यील्डिंग है दैट इज नथिंग बट अ डिफॉर्मेशन अलाउड, एंड हाउ मच इज दैट, इट इज 0.6 मिलीमीटर. सो इन सेकंड केस डिफॉर्मेशन अलाउड दिया है व्हिच इज 0.6. Free deformation you can calculate, and from that one you can calculate the deformation prevented. Then with the help of that deformation prevented you can calculate the strain. With the help of strain you can calculate the stress, and with the help of stress you can calculate the R. Or directly that deformation prevented equal to RL upon E. From that one you can calculate the R. Understood? Yeah. So this is today's homework. Here I'll create the link on the Google Classroom. You have to solve it properly here and upload it there. Okay, here by today 6 o'clock evening.
Sir, please send the questions photo. Questions.
Yes, I'm sending. Yes, I'm sending that question photo. Okay, thank you. And don't, just 1 minute, don't leave the class. Here I'll mark the attendance. दोन मिनिट फक्त. Okay, thank you. I'll post the question and then you have to post the answer in the Google Classroom. Thank you. Thank you very much.